Hey everyone, this week I'll be sharing a story that I found very interesting. As you may already know, this channel really focuses on analyzing multiplayer simulator gameplay. The story we have today is a very interesting one because it really focuses on the internal alarm that you should internalize to keep yourself safe in multiplayer. The situation is I have been flying solo for about 20 minutes or so and haven't seen any contact, so I'm feeling rather frustrated, and I notice our railway station radar warning goes off, so I go in to investigate. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to help the channel. Thank you. So I found this Tempest pretty quick, and you can see I'm zooming in and out with my camera to check my speed, which I'm like just below 900. He makes a pretty hard bank, so I'm going to let him go, and I want to see what he's going to do. My expectation is that he's carrying bombs, and he's going to bomb the depot, which is to the bottom right of the screen. It's at the very top of that city. Now, this guy's really hard to see. There's no visual aid for this scene right now, but I'm just looking. I have altitude, I have speed, and there you can kind of see him coming across now. And there's the railway station. So I'm expecting him to get his eggs off, so I'm going to try to angle myself to catch him here. So he gets a nice bomb off, he turns really hard. I can't safely maintain that turn, and I see a second contact coming in. So this means I have to be very careful now, because what I'm thinking about right now is I'm deep in our territory, but I'm not expecting any friends to be here, and essentially I'm in a 2v1. So rolling over, keeping my, I'm not at the fastest speed I should be at right now, or the ideal speed. But I'm going to pick up my speed now in this dive. I see some tracers, so there's another friendly here, so this makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And he goes ahead and pulls. I'm just going too fast to bring my nose up. And, the key thing here I want you to notice is I think that's my third pass, and I haven't been able to get anything done, and I'm basically just rinsing and repeating. Like, he's burning an E, he's on the deck, so he can't get any more E from diving out. My plan here is that I'm just going to keep taking passes over and over again until I catch him on a swipe. Now, he's flying by the sea, so it's incredibly hard to see him. And just as a note, as sometimes I'm passing over these really forested areas, I might lag a little bit, so just keep that in mind. So this is a shot I should have made. I missed it, and this is pretty dangerous right here because he might be able to get a shot here, especially since this convergence is pretty far out. Luckily, I'm going fast enough where it's no problem, and I have my engines at max. So the 262, you get 15 whole minutes, and I'm in friendly territory. Like, it's going to eat some of the RTB, so I might as well just use up the engine power. So, just a reminder, I'm taking a pass over and over again on this first guy. I don't know where the second guy is right now. I know he's in the area. He could have been shot down by the friendly that I saw earlier, but I don't know that. So I need to assume that he's still around. So I'm still looking around. It's totally possible that this guy might be baiting me for the second guy to jump me. So this is why I'm flying so strict like this. My speed's about 800 right now. That's probably another shot I should have made. Could have definitely made it, but what I could have done is maybe slowed myself down a little bit so I had more authority, or input authority to move my nose around, but I just don't want to take the risk. So let's get into their heads. And I think part of why this video is interesting is because these Tempests actually fly quite well. They're probably on, I'm assuming they're on comms, and they might be telling people, hey, we're fighting a 262, here's where we are. So there might be people on the way, and they're just buying for time. They need to go east to get back to their airfield. And this is probably, what, the 5th or 6th path I've taken on this guy. And he turns into me. So now this is starting to look very different, where all the previous passes I was dead 6, and this guy this time turned into me. So I'm feeling a little nervous now. So I'm not planning on going back into him soon. That's why I cut my engines down a little bit. Again, I don't know where the second guy is. I have an eye on this guy, even though he's really hard to see here, but I do have an eye on him. And looking at this footage again, you know, I probably should have been looking around a bit more. The second guy, you know, if he was still around, he could have picked up on me. And let's talk about like the mental game here. Like I'm taking first like 5 passes were like one after another after another. Now this one, what I'm trying to do is I'm changing my strategy a little bit, where instead of like immediately going after him, I'm trying to give him some space to make him feel comfortable, and like trying to get him to feel complacent. And you know, this time he didn't turn into me. That's another shot I probably could have hit. Again, I missed him. And even though I'm missing these shots, I'm not really deviating from my plan. And I think that's really important, because the 262, well, I think the 262 is actually very boring to fly, because this is how you're supposed to fly it, and it's really the only way you can fly it. And if you want to succeed in it, you kind of have to stick to this. I find that a lot of people may take and this happens to me, by the way, you know, they take a few passes on something, they basically miss because the person knows they're trying to bounce them and they're able to evade, and then all of a sudden the energy situation in the fight basically equalizes, where the attacker has burned up so much E trying to repeatedly attack over and over and over again, that the defender is able to get a quick shot on them. This happens to me all the time against Hurricanes. I get baited by them because honestly, it's not really me getting shot down by the Hurricane, it's just me getting frustrated and putting myself in a stupid position. So this guy sees me coming again, he sees me way early, he's turning. There's no way I'm going to make this shot. It was very close though. This is a little scary because I don't exactly see him here. And at this point, I'm very, very frustrated. Look at my airspeed in the top left, the 800. And I can't even make this one. So, I mean, and I've said this already, but, you know, kind of hats off to this guy, because he has basically defended 8 attacks now against a jet, and he's flown pretty far now.
You know, we're getting kind of closer to his airfields. And I don't know where the second guy is. So my engines are back in continuous. And I believe this is the point where I'm going to change my strategy back to trying to make him feel comfortable and complacent. You know, you don't have to force things. If we keep going at him over and over and over again, we're going to get so target fixated that we're not going to see a buddy coming up, and we have to assume that someone's coming. This is not single player. In single player, there's only a finite amount of things that can happen because the AI is just coded into the missions. But in multiplayer, it is totally possible for 4 dudes to show up right now with altitude. You just don't know. So you have to be wary of that, and you have to put yourself in a position to be able to dip or to leave if that were to happen. Because right now, if 3 planes were to show up, go out, I could get away. And if they come up from above me, like, I'm kind of trying to hug the clouds, like the bottoms of the clouds, so that way I don't get bounced easily because there's so much cloud cover. So I'm pretty much in a very good protected spot where if they come in from above me, they're not going to get an easy bounce on me. If they come in below me, then I'm going to outrun them or even fall out. So this is a mind game right here. You know, I'm trying to use alt chat and be like, oh, who were those guys? You know, maybe make it seem like I've given up. And I haven't. Like, the plan here is to make them feel comfortable. So here they are. So this is pretty ideal. This is looking like a good bounce right here. And I got a huge lag spike because these forests always lag me. And
fuck! Why is this shit lagging? God damn it!
So that's me raging in the game. That's frustrating. So at this point, right now, I'm like totally tilted, and I know myself that if I were to make another pass again, I would fully commit and drop my speed and try to snipe him. But the only reason I'm not doing it right now is because I did confirm there actually are 2. I mean, this is a frustration pass, but I'm not gonna fully commit. And I've actually gone through a decent amount of ammo. So, like you can see here, So you can see I'm raging here, which is annoying. You know, think back to the beginning of the video. I flew for 20 minutes, didn't see anything, and then I see the Tempest at the railway. You know, he's smart. He evades me. I take multiple passes. I don't know how many passes I've taken, maybe 9, like on this pair, and I finally tricked them into feeling complacent, or gave them enough space to feel complacent, and then I zoom back in, and I do get a pretty big lag spike, so I don't get the reward that I want, which sucks. So I'm again trying to make them feel complacent, where I feel like I've raged, and trying to get them to feel that they're safe, like I've given up. So here, at this point, I'm looking at them. Like I said, I gave them a cushion of a belief that I've like really given up now. I mean, if you think about it, the last time I said I was trying to talk with them, like it looked like it worked, where they weren't looking around as much, and I gave them a little space. So why not try it again? And if you see at the top, there's those rivers. That's basically where their airfields are at. So now I need to be really careful, because it's really easy for someone to lift me right here. And, there's no chance. So I go 100 on engine power. Now for real, I'm actually really leaving. Keeping an eye out. And like I described earlier, I want to get to the bottom of this cloud layer, because look at the clouds. It's like, what, 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 in terms of coverage. So if you're right below these clouds, it's going to be really hard for anyone to bounce me. And I told you earlier that on the far right side is a river where their airfields are at. And again, here I'm raging. I'm so tilted at this point, and it's weird, because at finish, like, I feel like this plane is not fun to fly, and I'm gonna go off on a tangent now, but I don't even think this plane should even be in the game, because it feels like this. If we had B-17s or B-24s in the game, like, this plane would be awesome, because it would actually be really useful, but we don't. So I don't even know why it's in the game. And in finish, it's so rare. There's only 2 per rear airfield per restart, so it's like super rare. So it's almost like a novelty to fly it, and I end up flying it just because I never get enough stick time in it. With that said, how much fun do I actually have flying in it? It's rare. It's the few times I've had a lot of fun flying in it is when I've had multiple friends on. Where like 2 of us were in 262s, and we had some K4 to support us. And when you have that whole thing going on, like, you basically can't ever die. With the 262s, with their speed, and the K4 and climbing, like, you're totally. It's like an awesome duo. If you get the 7 to 8K, whatever. But if you're just flying solo, it gets so frustrating to fly. So while I'm RTB here, I'm passing over the traffic lane between the front line and their airfield, and I do spot something. So again, when I'm zooming in and zooming out, I'm looking at my airspeed, make sure I don't G-lock, because that's so easy to do in this plane. So here's a little yak, I think, experience the bombs. Again, I had a little lag there. So this dude's done. I think I have to go for another 30 in them. But, you know, let's kind of recap what happened. One, you know, frustration can kill you, and even though I did tilt, and I was complaining in all chat, I didn't tilt enough where I started doing stupid things with the 262. You know, if you're flying a 262 special on finish, it's like a very rare bird, so you don't want to end up as someone's trophy. I mean, you don't want to die in general, but especially in the 262. The other thing I want to mention is you need to be conscious, especially for you single player gamers who are coming to multiplayer, you need to keep your options open. And if you are going to be really committing, you need to be, you know, you can only really make that commitment after you do the sort of the calculation in your head of like what's actually possible to happen and what's not. You know, I always assumed more or less that I was really in the 2v1 in this fight, so I didn't really hard commit to a lot of these bounces. I get my speed up. The third thing is these guys actually flew quite well and quite smart. You know, they took maybe 10, I took 10 passes at them and they were able to defend them all. You know, yeah, I should have made a shot maybe on some passes, so, you know, they got a little lucky. But, you know, all in all, they actually did a pretty good job, and I'm just respecting them and letting them go because I don't want to get myself killed over, you know, just a single kill. So having this fear and being conscious of the fact of like what could potentially happen is really important. I hope you guys found this interesting. I think that this video is not the most exciting one, but I think it's a good example of kind of the psychology of the game and thinking about multiplayer, because it would have been really easy to just say, fuck it, I'm going to just commit, and I guarantee you if I would have done that, the second Tempest would have showed up out of nowhere and killed me. So just, you know, I hope you guys found the voiceover useful and it's just something to think about. Hope you guys have a good day, and if you did enjoy this, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to help the channel. Thank you so much.